Welcome to round 3 of the West Bank Super Series in Port Elizabeth. This is the Bridgestone production cars.
It's round 3 of world-class racing in the Bridgestone Production Championship. This time around, we bring the show to Port Elizabeth and the race circuit called Aldo Scribante. It's 2.48 kilometers long, demanding narrow and a killer on tires.
It certainly is, and in the qualifying, the tires would play a major effect because these boys would have to push them to the limit to see if they can get onto the front row. The very important front row, especially when there's such a tight battle between all the manufacturers in Bridgestone production cars.
A lot of the fans in PE came out to see their hometown local boys in Team Audi Extreme.
There was another Audi that was at the front of the battle for the Audi patrol, and it was Johan Ferree in the Indy Oils Audi absolutely hauling around here, but unfortunately he was going to be outdone by two complete outsiders, especially this one. Team Timken's Subaru all of a sudden found the pace that was required to get onto the front row. It was quick, but he wasn't as quick as the BMW of Anthony Taylor. The Afrox BMW absolutely hauling around here, timed it to perfection and put it on pole. Confirmation there of that front row, Anthony Taylor, Afrox BMW, and Timken Subaru, Henny Groenewold.
In the mix as well, we've got Johan Ferree and Michael Stephen.
Third row was the first of the Nissans and the second of the BMWs.
And then it was Marco D'Acunha, teammate to Leroy Polter and Chop Sapuka.
Last row was made up of a welcome return of Rechard Roots and Richard Pinard.
Bridgestone Production Car Championship into round number 3. It's qualifying at Aldo Scribante in Port Elizabeth. Absolutely fantastic. Henny Groenewold on the front row. Are you surprised?
Based on some testing, we've made some improvement, but obviously I'm very happy. You know, we were circulating more towards the back in the previous 2 rounds, but absolute steep learning curve for our team, and really all credit to the guys. We're really happy. You know, we're not at the front yet, but we're getting there. It's really positive, and this Timken team, the guys, put an incredible amount of work into the car to actually get it where the Subaru should be up front there.
Anthony, well done. Are you surprised by pole?
Yeah, I am, especially in the conditions. You know, it was a bit of a damp track that we had now, and I think it was a bit of a waiting game that it afforded me the pole position, because I went out and I came back in and I waited until everyone had gone, and there was about 4.5 minutes left of the qualifying, and then only did I go out and start my lap. And the track was definitely a bit drier, but also the conditions, you know, it's quite cool and quite moist. There's quite a bit of moisture in the air, so that certainly does help for the BMW 335.
Things have certainly changed though, Steve, as you see them line up for race number 1. It's 8 laps of action, and heading down towards turn number 1, it is dry and very, very tricky conditions for these boys. Look how close it gets so early on. Oh, a little tap. Melville Priest into the back end, and Michael Stevens says, welcome to my circuit.
You could see that BMW reflection. That was how close it was. They're into turn 1. This is wet for all the marbles today, and of course a big crowd has turned out to see these massive cars in action.
And they certainly do give great action, especially at this tight and twisty circuit. You can see already the action there between Taylor and Leroy Polter, and of course Michael Stephen. He's got in there too. He's in the mix and really starting to give these boys a good run. Nice little battle a little bit further back. You can see Rechard Roots starting to get to grips with that BMW. Gets a little bit sideways, goes up the inside, has a little tap. Oh, Sapuka's going to go wide. Sapuka gets forced wide after the tap by Rechard Roots, and thank goodness he's got Quattro.
Oh, he saved it. You're quite right about that. Four-wheel drive, that's the only thing that did save him. Of course, that's going to make him a little bit angry, and he's going to go, why me again?
Repercussions, I think, are going to be coming very soon, but as they come through Bridgestone Sweep, heading up towards the final corner on the circuit. The action is thick and fast, and onto the braking markers. Will we see Michael Stephen drive around the outside of Leroy Polter? He's got what it takes because he has got the Quattro system in that Engine Extreme Audi, and he gets good drive. Look at that. Just pulls on as his teammate reverses back onto the circuit.
Of course, it is one of the most awesome corners on this track and a very demanding racetrack at Port Elizabeth Goodyear, and you have to be very, very good there and get good drive. We're on board.
Speaking of good drive, Steve, look at the Subaru's corner speed. Man, it's got good traction through the corners, and all of a sudden, the SP Racing boys have got the Subaru working perfectly, and Henny Groenewold must be thinking to himself, hey, there's a chance I can get onto the top of the podium today.
Anthony Taylor's thinking to himself, why on earth is he behind me at this stage of the game? Well, of course, they've put some massive development in, and they've managed to do some improvements on the car, and we wait with anticipation to see what he can do for the rest of the day.
Well, he's a triple champion when it comes to V8 supercars, so he definitely knows how to pedal a car around this track, and now he's got to grips with the Subaru. I think Taylor might be in for a little bit of work today, other than from his normal, usual contenders. They come out of Bridgestone Street, heading up to the final corner, complete another lap now. Will we see Henny Groenewald have a go? No, we won't. He just shows a big blue and orange Subaru to that BMW and says, right, I'm coming, but maybe not just yet.
He's certainly making Anthony Taylor think about what he's doing, and yes, I know that he thinks that this boy is on the pace, and he certainly is. He proved that in qualifying. He's bringing it to the first race as well. Of course, the other disappointment was also Johan Ferrari, who's just at the back there in picture, as we can see, was very, very quick the entire weekend up to qualifying, and then thought he'd be on pole, but had some problems in terms of oil pressure.
Oh, problems
here we go.
Melville Priest getting some of his own problems, running a bit wide out of turn number 1, heading into the Contiestas now, onto the braking markers. Pittard goes through, so Priest is now demoted right to the back of the Class A field as they head up through Westbank Corner to the Bridgestone hairpin. It is so tight between those front two. Look at him. Henny Groenewald is all over the back of that BMW, looking for a way past. He goes left, he goes right, but Taylor is a seasoned campaigner, and he's going to make it very difficult for that Subaru to get through.
Michael Stephen behind you, home Ferrari, and then the two 350Z Nissans, Leroy Polter, Marco De Cunha. In the pits comes Chop Sapuka. That was going to be obvious because I think he's done his suspension.
1 lap to go as they come across the line now, as Henny Groenewald got enough to maybe do this, and Michael Stephen also looking pretty dangerous in the background. He wants to get ahead and be the leading Audi. It's his hometown. He gave the opportunity, had a look at the inside. Ferrari saw him coming and slammed the door shut. I was about to say, Ferrari had a hometown victory in Cape Town. Now it's time for Michael Stephen to shine.
Absolutely, and of course these Audis really do go round here very, very well, and it's all about the four-wheel drive and the traction as opposed to the front-wheel drives.
Well, it's hometown hero here, and he's all over the back of Johan Ferrari, but Johan Ferrari, he doesn't have the number 1 plate on his car for nothing. He's not going to make it easy for Michael Stephen. I don't think Henny's got enough here to get ahead of Taylor. Taylor's driven a brilliant race. Look at that! Great defensive work there from the Indy Oils Audi. The Engine Extreme Audi of Michael Stephen trying to go up the inside, and there just was no room.
So this all looks set for a win for Team Afrox and Anthony Taylor. He's stuck it on pole. He's going from flag to flag if he can get round. Of course, this is a demanding corner. This is where you need to get the drive, and he's going to drive defensively and keep out that Subaru of Henny Groenewald. I don't think he's got enough, as you quite rightly said. It's going to be a flag win, and I think he's going to pick up the points here.
He certainly is. He takes the victory ahead of the Subaru. The two Audis come through in 3 and 4, but it was like an Audi trailer on the back of Johan Ferrari's car. That's how close Michael Stephen was. But remember, Steve, now what happens? They're going to Park Fermé on the circuit. No work allowed to be done on these cars. A new format of racing for 2010, and it's definitely working out. But confirmation of the results there, you can see Taylor taking the victory in the Afrox BMW ahead of Henny Groenewald. A good drive from him, Johan Ferrari, Michael Stephen, and Leroy Polter.
Most important thing is, of course, Marco De Cunha goes on pole for the next sprint race here at Aldo Scribante. Flag to flag, Anthony Taylor, winner of the first sprint race. What did it take to keep Henny Groenewald out?
I think just a lot of blocking. But yeah, that Subaru was really surprising, and he stayed there all the time. They battled a little bit under the brakes, but yeah, on the whole, a good result. I knew that we would have had to have done a little bit of blocking there, but yeah, it was a good race. I'm glad.
I'm standing with Henny Groenewald. Absolutely brilliant race. It's got to be the widest BMW you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, you need to have strong brakes, yeah, and obviously if you run a defensive line, you're going to be okay, I suppose, leading. But yeah, a clean race and a good race. I think for us, the main thing is the Timken team's had a result now in production cars, and want to move forward and start winning some races.
Oh, look out, there's a threat from Henny Groenewald, if ever there was one. But race 2, you can see an inverted grid, and on pole position, as you said, Marco De Cunha heading down towards turn number 1. A lot of work to do for the two leading cars at the back, and already, look at that, the Subaru's having to do a little bit extra. Thank goodness he's got all-wheel drive on that Subaru, because he comes up the inside. Oh, it is really tight between the cars heading into turn 1. Around the outside comes Taylor. He's made up a good position there, but oh, Johan Ferrari's coming together with the Subaru, nearly clipping him there off the road. But Henny Groenewald is now in the mix and realizes, I've got the pace, I need to get through this field as quickly as possible.
As we can see, that picture there was the new car from Rege Ruud, part of the ADF Motorsport team, which includes the two Afrox BMWs. Of course, Lee Thompson was in that 330i. It's now a 335, driven by Rege Ruud, who is part of that team.
Oh, look at this action. Look at the action between these boys. Oh, bumping and bashing. It's wing mirrors, it's door panels. I think we're going to have a little bit of panel beating work to be done on these cars after this this one. This is race 2. Remember, they haven't even left the circuit yet. They've been in park from on the track, and the action between these boys is absolutely electric. The Subaru has moved through the field pretty rapidly and is coming up onto 3rd place. What a drive, and he runs wide. There's a problem with the car. He's run wide out of the final corner, and he's going to fall onto the back end of this field. What a pity.
That's got to be a left front tyre. There's got to be a flat tyre there for him to run off like that. On the way down to the first corner is still Leroy Poulter, the Audi of Michael Stephen. And as we can see, dropping off the pace a bit is Marco Acuna in the other 350Z Nissan. We hear it's the idler pulley. It seized on the first corner, causing his fan belt to break and has affected the power steering. And of course, he's manhandling that car. Greg.
Well, hopefully he's fit enough to manhandle the car and get it around and maybe get some points at the end of the day. But if he's at the back of the field with no power steering, it's not going to be an easy drive for him. We're on board with Melville Priest. This is the second of the upfront BMWs. Henny Kruval, there you go, confirmation. Front left, absolutely toast. Not only will be able to get back to the pits if he can do that. Hopefully he can get the car changed and the tyre changed on that car and back into the action. But he is going to lose out probably 2 or 3 laps.
I go down into my favourite part of the circuit here at PE. It's into that Bridgestone sweep. And of course, it is still the leaders in front right now. Look, we've got a great shot there of that new Rough Rider in the BMW 335i driven by Richard Ruitz.
Can you believe it? They're sitting down there in 5th, 6th and 7th place, the BMWs, when they were leading in race number 1. So lots of work to do for these boys as they get through the field. But up front, the action is thick and fast, and Michael Stephen is looking to possibly take on Leroy Poulter into turn 1. He gets into the slipstream. He's tucked in behind that 350Z. It looks like he might have a go here. Will he? No, he's not close enough just yet. But he is right on the tail now, looking for a way past. Just in the background, Melville Priest has a look up the inside of Richard Ruitz. Ruitz runs a little bit wide, coming out of turn 1. And Priest has run out of his own.
Melville's been complaining of the brake bias, and that could be the reason the back is locking up.
Every time he climbs onto the brakes, unfortunately the back locks up, and he's got to sort that out, hopefully, because otherwise he's going to have some problems all weekend. Remember, he went so well in Cape Town. Unfortunately, it looks like that's the end of the day's racing for the first of the Sam Racings coming into pit lane. That's Marco Acuna, but the leading Sam Racing Nissan is out in front, and still Michael Stephen hasn't found a way past.
No, he hasn't. Of course, he'll be chasing down, and the hometown fans want him to do really, really well. He's looking for podium finishes. He wants to keep his championship run on course. Great driving here. It's Leroy Poulter. He's holding Michael Stephen at bay, but for how long?
I don't know how much longer he can do that. It's a rear-wheel drive versus a quattro in heading into this final corner. Will Michael Stephen be able to drive around the outside? He tried it on the previous race. Wasn't able to do it. But look at that. He just tucks on the apex right at the end. Gets the drive, and now they're side by side. It's almost a carbon copy of the first move he pulled in race 1.
I think he's got him. Of course, team principal for Sam Racing, Lee Phillips, has said maybe we need to change to a forced induction car because they have been battling, but they are consistent.
Look at that. They are right in the fray. There's no doubt about it. And just unfortunately didn't get good drive out of the final corner. And now as they head into the S's, it is so close between these boys. Bridgestone production cars in full effect here down in Aldo Scribante.
Well, it's always going to be a tough ask for them as well, Greg, because, I mean, they're going to be outgunned with the turbocharged and the all-wheel drives, and, of course, they need to make up. They want to compete for this championship. They have to think about doing something new.
All right, coming into the braking markers, into Bridgestone hairpin. Late braking from Johan Fourie is just keeping Taylor behind him. Then just in the background, Richard Ruitz having probably a fantastic welcome return drive here. He's up in 5th place. He's got to be happy with that in the Neo Africa Rough Rider BMW.
Absolutely. These two boys know each other so well, don't they, Greg? I mean, they come from a karting world. They've got multiple titles between the two of them, and boy, they know how to drive.
Really do. Coming into the final stages, though, it looks like Stephen has got ahead of Poulter, and Poulter's now got another Audi on his tail. Will he be able to keep this one at bay? Because he wasn't able to do it with Michael Stephen. Going into turn number 1. It is Michael Stephen versus Leroy Poulter. Johan Fourie looking to get up there. He's got to get up in a second. He can't afford to have 2/3 and then start the final race of the day later on.
Well, of course, he wouldn't be happy with that, would he? But, I mean, a third's a third in his points, and he keeps his toll running at the moment. But the boys are looking good. They're heading on their way up to Westbank. It's still Michael Stephen in front, the hometown boy. The crowd are going off the hook at the moment for this boy. Driving really well.
They certainly love this man. He comes onto the braking markers. Poulter goes defensive. Oh, a little tap. Fourie says, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know I'm here. Johan, if he doesn't know you're there by now, but he's never going to know. Coming through Bridgestone Street. Look at this. Absolutely nothing between it. It's Nissan versus Audi. Then BMW. It's every single one of the manufacturers. Just a big pity we don't have the Subaru in it this time.
It is, isn't it? But, of course, Anthony Taylor's getting dragged along here for the ride. He's just watching this wide eyes and open at the moment. Can he do anything? Can he make an impact? I don't think he can. Oh, look at that. Johan Fourie is trying to go down on the inside. No, had a peekaboo and decided against it.
Well, Well, the drag race was for the flag, and Michael Stevens going to take the victory. He's going to be happy about that. The hometown hero has taken a victory in front of the hometown crowd. They're going to be very, very happy about that, and I'm sure the Engine Extreme boys are going to be working double time to try and make that 2 victories today later on in race number 3.
Confirmation of those results: Michael Stevens, the winner; Leroy Poulter, Johan Fourie, Anthony Taylor, and Richard Ruitz. Bridgestone Production, the second race of the sprint races. He came 4th in the first and a 1st in the second race. You must be ecstatic.
Yeah, I'm really pleased to win in front of our home crowd. In the second race, really a dream come true. It puts us in a good position for the championship, and hopefully we can repeat that in the third race.
You seem to be in no danger whatsoever.
Yeah, the first race I was behind Johan, and I think I was quite a bit quicker. Just couldn't find a way past, and with the second race, the reverse grid it played in my favour. And once I got to the front, I just took it easy on the brakes and saved the tyres for the third heat.
For all the information on the Westbank Super Series, visit our website www.westbanksuperseries.co.za and stay in the loop.
This is what we've been waiting for, the theme piece to the Bridgestone Production Car Championship. Race number 3, over 14 laps. We've had 2 winners, Greg, in Anthony Taylor and Michael Stevens. Will we have another one?
Oh, a little tap there between Leroy Poulter and Johan Fourie. Forces Fourie wide, taps Richard Ruitz, and Ruitz goes flying across the circuit. That is the end of the day. The back right-hand wheel is absolutely game over. You're not going to get that BMW back on, but action already, and it's continuing into the S's. Still some more there between Poulter. There we go. On board here, looking back, and look at that little tap there between Fourie and Poulter. Poulter knocks Fourie across. Fourie takes out Ruitz. Ruitz very lucky to keep it together. That's fantastic car handling skills there from Richard Ruitz, and he ends up in the sidelines. Game over.
I think Fourie might be in a bit of trouble there. He was actually pushing Leroy Poulter into the Armco, and Leroy was saying, "Oh, I'm not having any of that," and came back at him, and I think that's going to be the cause of it. Anyway, back to the racing action. We're on board with Henny Groenewald. This Timken Subaru is working really, really well.
Now, the SP Racing boys have found something in the Subaru. They certainly have been working hard to get it to the kind of pace it's at, but can't get past Taylor just yet. He's in second place as the rest of the field comes streaming through the final corner to complete lap number 1.
I think Anthony Taylor's got a big handful as we check out the leaders. It's Anthony Taylor in his Subaru, and that Timken is absolutely flying. I don't know whether Anthony Taylor's going to be able to hold him. He's trying to look down the outside, looks on the inside, looking on the outside. He's going to have to find a gap here soon.
Well, he's tried it all of race number 1, and he eventually found a way and didn't make it stick, but hopefully he can do it this time. They've got slightly longer time to play around on the circuit. Johan Fourie realizes that too. That's why he has got ahead of Leroy Poulter as quickly as he can, as that little battle started to raise right from the word go. The flag dropped and the action started. That's what it's all about in Bridgestone production cars, and it usually goes all the way to the end. Taylor goes defensive onto the inside of Bridgestone hairpin. Round the outside goes the all-wheel drive of the Subaru of Henny Groenewald. And man, he's working hard in that car. Look at him, inside and out. And on his tail, Stevens going, "I'm in the best seat in the house. One of you messes up, I'm coming through."
Through the Bridgestone sweep, they're on their way to Goodyear. This is where you need that drive, and that's where the Subaru might have the advantage. But I tell you what, Anthony Taylor hasn't put a foot wrong. He's driving sublimely at the moment. If he does make a mistake, that Timken will be through.
Certainly will, and I think Henny Groenewald is that eager. He is so hungry for a victory. He hasn't had one in a long, long time. They've had a terrible start to the season, but eventually they found something in the car. And of course, they've got it all to match and work properly now. And that's what it's taken. Once it works, you are not going to see that tomorrow. We saw it last year with Davy Olivier when he got that car working, and all of a sudden he was in the mix and winning races. And it looks like the same thing's going to start happening here with Henny Groenewald.
Well, the big thing, Greg, for this Timken is they managed to get the Motec computer and center differential controller to talk to each other. So now they can really fine-tune how the Impreza puts her power down.
It's kind of a case of getting it all working, and that's exactly what they've done. Onto the braking markers now. Look at the battle in the background, though. The Nissans, BMWs, and Audis are going wing mirror to wing mirror. And it's a steam train. There is nothing in it. Any one of the first 7 drivers can take a victory here, because usually what happens is if a mistake is made, somebody pays the price. Hopefully it's not going to be happening in this race. And look at this. The BMW is really under threat. And it's not only from the Subaru. There are 2 Audis and a Nissan looking for a way through too.
Greg, things are going to change here, because going into this round, Team Afro's with Anthony Taylor on 69 points, with Melville Priest at second on 58. Michael Stevens from Audi Extreme on 51, tied with Leroy Potter. That's going to change today.
It certainly is. This championship is just being blown wide open down here in PE. BMW of Anthony Taylor, sponsored by Afrox. He's going to have to get on the gas there. There's no doubt about it, because that Timken car is rolling on every single bearing it has. And behind him, it is a battle royal. And look at this! 3x3 coming out of the hairpin onto the braking markers. Who's going to get on the inside? Taylor just keeps it buried through there. He's not going to tap off at all.
Henny, absolutely fearless. And as you say, best seat in the house. Michael, I'll follow you through, my mate. Just create the gap.
Now find a way for us. Come on, Henny. You know you can do it. Around the outside, Johan Verriest thinking the same thing. And on his tail, Leroy Polter's going, if you can get through, I'm coming with.
Yeah, but I don't have 4-wheel drive. Oh, look at that. That's absolutely brilliant. Now it's a dice down to the front. Anthony Taylor's got the best line here. But can the Subaru drive on the outside? I don't think so.
Well, he could have, but I think discretion is the better part of valor there. He goes on the inside, clips the curb. He's going to try and keep Michael Stevens at bay too. Remember, he's not only battling to get to the lead, he has to make sure that his wing mirrors are covered at all times. And right now, Michael Stevens is in there. Look how close he is. This is awesome stuff. Rear footage from the Henny Groenewald Timken Subaru looking at Michael Stevens. And Michael Stevens has got his hands full nonetheless. And he's got a very talented 2 drivers on the back end.
This must be a surprise for Michael Stevens as well, because nobody, out of nobody, has seen the Subaru work at its potential over the last 2 rounds. Now, all of a sudden, look at what it's doing.
And to take nothing away from Davy Olivier, when you've got Henny Groenewald at the wheel of this car, this is a man who's taken 3 national titles in a row. So watch out. We are in for a battle royal here.
One mistake, just one mistake from Anthony Taylor, and it's all over. That Timken will be through. He's got to keep it, and he's got to make that BMW so... Oh, he has made a mistake. Anthony Taylor has made a mistake. He's gone wide for the first time. It looks like Henny Groenewald is going to go through.
Well, they're side by side as they cross the line. Henny Groenewald's got the inside line now. This is not where Taylor wants to be. Groenewald's got great drive out of Goodyear corner. Onto the braking markers. Oh, Taylor's going to drive right his outside. I can't believe it.
No, he can't.
The rear-wheel drive will not handle this. Oh, it will. No, it won't.
Oh, brilliant.
It could only handle for a
KG in the front. Absolutely brilliant. One mistake. He hasn't put his foot wrong the whole day. Check this out.
Now we're looking at a second place, and it's a BMW. Groenewald is in the front of a Bridgestone production car race for the first time. And let me tell you something, Steve. If he's there, they are not going to get past.
How's that?
Oh, get pushed wide.
Oh, and he smacks the 25-meter braking marker.
It looks like the Engine Extreme boys have enjoyed the outside of that corner, because that's where Chop Sapuka went off. So these boys are giving it everything they've got, and all of a sudden Johan Verriest is now up in the third. Steven comes straight back at him to keep Poulter behind. What an awesome battle. This is what production cars is all about.
World-class drivers, all the manufacturers are here. And of course, this racing compares with any standard anywhere in the world, and we've got it here today in PE.
Oh, a little tap there from Steven on Ferrari. On the inside.
Oh, he's
going to get forced wide. He is. Ferrari got tapped by Steven. He went a little bit skew in the corner, came back, and Leroy Poulter had nowhere to go. Tapped the Audi, and the Audi is now on the sideline.
Streaks ahead, it's still the Timken Subaru leading Anthony Taylor. Michael Stevens' bonnet. Will that stay on? If it doesn't, it could cause havoc.
It certainly could. We've got a little bit of work to do here for some panel beaters, there's no doubt. Getting it sideways. Oh, he just keeps it buried.
Oh my word! How do you do that? You went in the opposite direction.
I really thought Chops had it there. He just kept the pedal flat. Here we go, a little bit further back. Watch in the background. You see Michael Stephen just clips the Audi of Johan Fourie. He gets out of shape. He comes straight across. Poulter's there, has nowhere to go, tries to climb on the brakes, but unfortunately he's already committed to the inside line, and there goes Fourie into the sidelines.
Unbelievable. And here's the one with Chopsapuka. That's a reverse pivot. I can't believe you can spin a car like that the other way. And of course, the only reason is he got double tapped.
He did. He got double tapped there coming out of, or going into the S's, I should say. Now we go back to the front end of this field, and things have kind of slowed down and calmed down, or have they?
No, they haven't.
Okay, they haven't. There's no doubt about it. The battle continued between Melville Priest and Marco Acuna. We haven't really picked up on that really this race, but you can see that it is just as good as the one that's happening up front. They're coming in amongst the back markers now of Class T. It's the final lap. There are 3 corners to go, and that Subaru is going to take its maiden victory for the Tim Kent team.
This is unbelievable. And of course, how to get your championship back on track, a full 20 points, because as you know, it counts double here.
It certainly does. Now, as they come onto the braking markers for the final corner, he's got some golfs ahead of him. Those GTIs are going to help him out heading into this final stage of the race. The BM is not going to catch him, neither is Michael Stephen, but Anthony Taylor is now going to open up a really good margin over everybody else. But it is the Empire striking back in Aldo Scribante, and what an awesome drive there from the Subaru, and Henny Groenewald must be very happy with that result.
The crowd on their feet, witnessing, I think, a championship in the making. This could be the start. This is what their team needed. Absolutely brilliant drive.
Only way to start what is going to be a great championship, because Henny Groenewald has taken his maiden victory, and he'll be joined by Darby Olivier at Kyalami, making it 2 Subarus on the field. But a great drive nonetheless. All the way down in 6th place to Cunha, Chopsapuka, Pinard in 8th with a little bit of work to do, and Fourie in 9th. 9 times out of 10, Steve, battle scars is usually what happens, and that's how you get your victory.
Henny Groenewald, the winner of the theme piece of the Bridgestone Production Car Championship. 14 laps of just sheer brilliance. You must be over the moon.
Yeah, we are, especially this bad start that we've had to the season. You know, we've really struggled to understand the car technically, and this team, the Tim Kent team's done an absolutely incredible job just to start moving us forward to a position that we can actually start winning races, and elated for them. You know, they really provided me a great car in the Subaru, and I think this 3rd heat really is a testimony to that 4-wheel drive. You know, it really helped us when the tyre wear came into contention, and it really helped us get that win.
Okay, and standing alongside Henny Groenewald, who's just walked away with it, to a gobsmacked Anthony Taylor. Look, I mean, let's be fair, he drove well.
Yeah, he did, and I must say one thing, that Subaru's got plenty of traction, and that's really where he got me coming out the last corner onto the main straight, and once he was on my inside, I just couldn't do anything. I tried to stick it around the outside of him into turn 1, but yeah, at the end of the day, we only can do so much with a 2-wheel drive grip, and I think we did exceptionally well this weekend, considering it's been a very abrasive circuit. And yeah, look, it's at least PE's now passed, so the abrasion's gone. The next one we go to Kyalami, our home track. So I think it's going to be a different kettle of fish there.
Celebrations nonetheless for Henny Groenewald. He'll be a very happy man. He's on top of the podium once again, but this time it's in Bridgestone Production cars. In the championship, it's still Anthony Taylor, who leads out by 20 points over Michael Stephen. Poulter's in 3rd, Melville Priest in 4th, and Johan Fourie, our current champion, down in 5th.
If you're not at the West Bank Super Series, you're missing out.
Hi, I'm Tracy Lee. The West Bank Super Series is taking a pit stop. We'll be back shortly.
For all your race results as well as information on the West Bank Super Series, SMS the word motorsports to 31329 and stay in the loop. Are we all SMSing?
Time to get your game face on, and of course it is the qualifying of Class T here in Port Elizabeth for round 3 at Aldo Scribante. All the big names, Tomato and Greg, this is going to be a kicker.
Certainly is. The championship is also wide open in Class T. Graham Nathan having a couple of things. We're also looking at Gennaro Bonafide, who leads out in this championship ahead of Nathan. Formato's in 3rd place with lots of work to do, but Nathan was quickest, and Gary Formato second down.
On the second grid, Gennaro Bonafide, the fight of the season, Kurt Alchin.
Then we go to Kieran Kwame looking to make big things happen here, and Heinz Berza.
Michael van Rooyen and Sean Duminy and the other forwards.
And the final row made up of Nizam Essa making his debut at Aldo Scribante.
Round number 3 of the Bridgestone production class qualifying. Gary Formato on the front row. That's encouraging, Gary.
Yeah, it is indeed. I mean, the time's extremely close, from 2nd down to 6th or wherever it is. I don't know, but it's going to be one hell of a race. I don't think we have enough pace to win today at all. I mean, we're 2nd slower here in PE, which, to give an example, would translate to about 2 seconds at Kyle Army. So we are far off the pace in terms of a win, I think. But, you know, we'll go and try and beat the other goals.
Graham Nathan, who's sitting on pole again. You're going to give it horns. You did just that.
Absolutely. My team's done a great job once again. Yeah, we got presented with a task of getting the cars to go quicker because we had to match the pace that the Fords have got, or that they showed at Swartkops. And through some really hard work and a little bit of teammate work from Kieran pulled me down the straight twice. Yeah, what can I say? It's wonderful to have a teammate.
The car is certainly performing well in coastal conditions, there's no doubt.
Stephen Green's done a really good job. He spent the whole day Thursday at Terry Moss's dyno, thanks to Terry Moss and Michael Stevens. And yeah, the work has got to be done here. This is the Volkswagen's home ground, and the Volkswagen's got to work hard.
Volkswagen's going to try and take a victory as well, Graham Nathan. More importantly, heading across the line, we get the flag dropped, and we are racing down towards turn number 1 on board with Gennaro Bonafide. Now remember, he's got a penalty. He's had to start in 6th place, even though he qualified in 3rd due to the infringement in Cape Town.
Yeah, he'll lose 3 places, but you know what? He's got enough talent. It shouldn't really faze him. And he's young enough to know that, you know, it's a long race and he can probably get through. Back to the action.
Into the Continental Aces. You can see Kieran Kwame getting through turn number 2. That's probably the longest race that Kwame's had this season. He's had a really tough start to the season. Bonafide all over the back of Van Rooyen. Michael Van Rooyen all the way from Rustenburg in PE on the tail of his teammate Germany, trying to catch Formato, who sits in 3rd behind Kurt Alchin.
If Kwame does have a problem, I'm going to blame you, Greg, putting the mockers on so easily. Let's hope he has a race-free incident at the moment.
Oh, we're looking forward to that, I can tell you. So is he. Onto the braking markers into Bridgestone sweep. They actually don't even brake it, they just lift off the accelerator, slam it back down again, and then it's up into Goodyear corner.
8 laps, this is a sprint race. It's still Graham Nathan. Kurt Alchin's in the mix there, Greg.
He certainly is, but look at this. Kwame is keeping the other 2 forwards at bay. Van Rooyen and Germany can't get past him just yet. They start the first lap, complete the first lap, and head down into turn number 1. Bonafide finding it very difficult to get to grips with this car. You can see that the setup of this car is not quite what Gennaro wanted, but I'm sure that his driving talent will definitely come into the fray any second.
Yeah, Gary, when speaking to him earlier.
Oh,
hello!
Forwards have run wide. What is this, tandem?
Blind leading the blind here.
Tandem rally driving? I'm not quite sure what happened there, but both forwards went into action. Chop Sapuka, as we saw earlier on in the show, he had some problems and got tapped out. He's now in the mix, and it's going to help out Graham Nathan. They start out because Kurt Alchin has now dropped way off the back, and Formato still in 3rd place. Can't get past that GTI.
This couldn't have happened any better for Graham Nathan. Chop Sapuka creating a buffer between the 2 classes. That's really going to help Graham's cause.
It certainly is. He'll be able to get away and not have to worry about the battle for 2nd. Kurt Alchin's got a little bit of drive. He's got this GTI absolutely dialed into the circuit. Berza having a superb drive. He's in 4th place and keeping Kwame behind him.
Having a chat to them, of course. I mean, they've been doing some improvements. They're quite happy. They came here very, very confident. Let's hope it works out for them.
Hopefully it does, but they're coming to turn number 1. Once again, tyres in transit, into file, GTI right on the back end of the Nando's Ford Racing ST of Gary Formato. So he's got ahead now of Berza. Berza falling back, unfortunately, into the clutches of the 2nd of the Fords. Kurt Alchin in the bodyman car, having a great drive. This is normally where we like to see him. He's up into 2nd place, but he's got a very talented Gary Formato on his tail, and Formato's not going to make it easy for him.
No, he won't, of course, and Gary is not exactly the most patient driver on the planet, and he'll want to make the Humpty Dumpty very quickly, as soon as possible, in fact.
Just want to make a correction there. I said it was the Fords, but it's actually Gennaro Bonafide who snuck up behind the Mazda. He's got ahead of those two STs now that they've made the mistake. And Berza in that MPS is going to have to keep his eyes on the rearview mirrors. He moves out. Gennaro Bonafide's going to get ahead. The Mazda had no answer, and the Ferrotto GTI has now moved up and is looking really good.
On the way down to the start-finish line, of course, our leaders are still going through at race pace here. It is still Graham Nathan in that Indy Oils GTI. It is Kurt Alchin, 2 GTIs, and then we've got the Ford. It's Gary Vermato all over Kurt.
Now, Gary Vermato's being bumped in, and he's basically the meat in the sandwich between 4 GTIs. This is superb, because remember, this is Volkswagen's home ground. They're going to be very happy with this kind of result. If they can just remove the Ford, we may even have 4 GTIs at the front.
Lap 7 of 8, we're almost there for Graham Nathan as he increases his championship lead. Of course, Bonafide is a couple of points ahead of him at this stage, but that's about to change.
Vermato seems to be slowing down slightly. Kieran Kwambi is all over the back of him. He has a look on the inside going into the sweep. Can't make it 6 just yet, but there definitely seems to be a problem on Vermato's car. He doesn't have the grunt out of the corners that he had earlier on, and you can see he's having to drive even more.
Oh, Kwame down the inside.
Something's broken there on Vermato's car. Look at that. You don't make an easy move on Gary Vermato like Kieran Kwame just did.
No, yeah, I agree with you 100%. There is something wrong there. We're not quite sure what it is. I didn't see any incident, or maybe something's broke on the car. We'll have to check this out.
Well, something's definitely broken, because there goes Gennaro Bonafide flying past him. It's GTIs 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then comes Dermody in the background. He's got ahead of Vermato as well, and I think it's just a matter of time before Van Rooyen gets into that position too.
It's been a long time coming for Kurt Alchin to be on the podium place. He's going to be ecstatic if this stays the way it is. Kwame is still on a mission.
And he's still in a chance for the podium too. So it's going to be a great day in the saddle there for the Nathan's Motorsport boys. They are 1, 3, and 4 on the road. There we see Gary Vermato just nursing that car home. Michael Van Rooyen is going to get him, and so is Berza.
I've got to tell you, Greg, I take my hats off to the PE crowd that have come down in their droves. This is one of the biggest fields we've seen and one of the biggest audiences we've seen.
Yeah, they put on a massive effort to get the marketing right. They've worked well, and the Engine Nassau Race Day is definitely proving to be one of the best we've had so far in this year's Westbank Super Series. Coming out of Bridgestone Sweep, Kurt Alchin is under pressure. Kwambi wants that second place, but I don't think there's enough time. Vermato has fallen way back, and given the GTIs the chance to shine here in PE, Nathan is the biggest star.
Absolutely fantastic, and it just goes to throw. He was quick in qualifying. He's put that into the race pace, and really now he's leading the championship over Gennaro Bonafide.
A great drive there from the big man, and he's going to be very happy with that. But remember, these boys are now going to be inverted for race number 2. Nathan will fall back, Kurt Alchin there in second, Kieran Kwambi, Gennaro Bonafide, and Sean Dermody, which now promotes Michael Van Rooyen to pole position.
All right, and poor Gary Vermato, another problem, but hopefully he'll rectify that for the next one. Bridgestone Production Car Championship, race 1 at Aldo Scribante, and what a fantastic, on the promise of qualifying. There was no doubt, was there really, Graham?
Yeah, my car was superb in the first heat. It was just flag to flag, put my head down, and I drove the absolute balls off the thing. Got out in front, put my head down, went well. Chops helped me a lot. He had a spin, got in between us, and it gave me a bit of a gap on Kurt. But then Kurt, when Chops got to me, by that time I had a bit of a lead and I could hold it. And Kurt was scrapping with Gary, which slowed the game down, and I just kept the pace. Did a great job for my team.
2 Fords on the front row, Van Rooyen and Dermody heading down towards turn number 1. Race 2 action, 8 laps. And here we go, down towards turn number 1, on board with Bonafide, side by side with Dermody. Can he get through quicker than what he did earlier on? He only got up to 4th place. He needs to do better than that if he wants to retake the championship lead from his stablemate. Action ready!
Kieran Kwambi, oh no, now there's a problem. But there's a big problem. Graham Nathan has gone in. Now that might look like a little shunt to you, but our suspension is designed to go up and down, not go sideways. There could be a big problem here, and there could be serious ramifications for Kieran Kwambi.
Well, let's have a look and see if he gets back on track. We saw that Nathan reversed the car and got on the road and got tracking, but into turn number 1, we didn't pick up on Gennaro Bonafide outdoing Dermody. Dermody's on his tail. Then we've got Kurt Alchin getting a little welcome tap from Gary Vermato. In fact, getting forced wide. Vermato's broken something. Vermato's broken the inside wheel, and that is not going to help his championship at all.
I was just about to say, Gennaro Bonafide, Sean Dermody, Graham Nathan, Nathan, from Aldo, since the start of this Bridgestone Production Championship, it's not been incident-free, and it just goes to prove how exciting this racing is.
As always, just as exciting as anything you get in the world, but we did get to see in the background the Indy Oils GTI is back on track. He's right at the back. Can he get through this field? It's going to be a tough ask in 8 laps, but his stablemate in the Ferrado GTI is sandwiched between the two Fords. Can Germany do anything to try and play a tail gunner role for Van Rooyen? He doesn't need to worry about it too much because Michael Van Rooyen is having one of the best drives I've ever seen him.
I totally agree, Greg, and of course I wish him all the best because he's had some drastically luck over the last couple of rounds, and he's been in the mix all the time, and he's been bumped off various points on racetracks, so we wish him well. But he's under pressure from Gennaro Bonafini, and he is one of the villains.
He certainly is. Right now he's a villain in the Ford battle. He doesn't want to be in there. Those Fords want to take victories away, especially in front of the hometown heroes here. That is Volkswagen. They come down the main straightaway now. We're at the halfway stage, and Bonafini hasn't found a way past Michael Van Rooyen.
Yet.
Michael Van Rooyen is keeping this car at bay and doing a superb job.
He's doing what Anthony Taylor did with the Subaru, making it as wide as it possibly can be in Class A.
Right, as they come out of Continental S's, heading up towards West Bank, Van Rooyen, Bonafini, Germany, a long way back to 4th place, which is still held at the moment by Kurt Alchen, but I think that battle is about to heat up because there's no doubt Nathan is in that fray.
Yeah, no, he'll come back from this. I'm sure he's on a charge. I mean, Stone lost. I'll be interested to see where he lands up, but he is really pushing that car, and he's starting to close the gap very quickly.
Berza still in 4th place, a lonely 4th place for Berza at this stage as they come out of the sweep. Van Rooyen keeping the Bonafini car right behind him. That's where it needs to be. Are we going to see any maneuvers here from Gennaro Bonafini? Not just yet, but there's definitely time for him to now start thinking about moving up. Look in the background. Speaking of moving up, Berza moves on the side. There's a problem.
He's got a problem. He's got a problem.
Yeah,
Mazda's got a problem.
And all of a sudden, it's now Nathan taking that position away as the 3 GTIs at the back of Alchen, Essa, and Modak going head-to-head.
Well, he's not going to be unhappy about that. He's been gifted a position that he doesn't really have to fight for. Now he's got some clean air, and he's got one mission in mind, and that's to chase down the next car in front of him.
That's Sean Germany. He's got him in his sights. He can see the red wing mirrors, and if he can get that car, there's a good possibility he will retain the championship lead, even though Gennaro Bonafini is slightly higher up on the grid position, or on the results position so far. The 3 GTIs go into the S's.
I'm amazed. Have you seen the amount of bodywork damage on these cars at the moment? It's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think our Zoe panel beaters is definitely going to have a lot of work to do. Yeah, you can see Michael Van Rooyen keeping Gennaro, but how much longer can he take this pressure? He's soaked it up now for almost 6 laps. There's only 2 to go. Oh, it's going to be tight between these boys.
Yeah, the one thing that Gary Famada did say to me earlier on, he said, we are battling on pace, but the most important thing is that this is such an abrasive racetrack.
Gennaro up the inside, he looks up the inside. Oh, the doors stand on him. Van Rooyen comes across.
Oh,
and Van Rooyen ends up on the sideline. Oh, I don't know whose mistake that was.
There's going to be words, Greg. There's
no
going to be words.
Van Rooyen had the line. I think, I wouldn't know. We'd have to wait and see the replay. But this has just promoted things up for Graham Nathan. Bonafini leads. Germany's in 2nd. Graham Nathan is now 3rd. Kurt Alchen is 4th. And Nizam Essa, and his first time at Aldo Scribante, is in a 5th place position and still in a battle.
I'd like to see that replay because it could be a racing incident as well. I mean, Michael Van Rooyen has been coming into that go wide and then cutting in. Bonafini thought he had a gap and went for it. And of course, well, we'll have to wait and see what finds out.
Yeah, he had the door slammed on him, and unfortunately he came out best, but depends on what the COC is going to say at the end of the race day. Graham Nathan is closing down on the back end of Sean Germany. There's only 1 corner to go. He hasn't got enough time to catch Germany, but he's going to be happy that he's come from the back of the field after an incident in turn 1 to take 3rd place. Bonafini crosses the line in 1st. Then it's Germany in the Ford. Graham Nathan, what a drive, up to 3rd place. The flag is out. It's now down. And look at that in the background. 4th place is going to go to Essa.
A Modek chasing him down as well. Those GTRs are having a fun day out there.
They certainly are. Confirmation of those results, though. Gennaro Bonafini was docked a few positions, and due to the fact that he knocked out Van Rooyen, actually ended up behind him. Germany takes the victory. Graham Nathan in 2nd. Essa in 3rd. What a drive from that man. Modak and Alchen 4 and 5.
Absolutely fantastic. Kurt Alchen, as you say. Michael Van Rooyen, unbelievable. The bad luck that really is following him around. And Gennaro Bonafini, the cause of that. So the start of race 3 for Class T. This is the theme piece for this division as well, and we're live at Aldo Scribante in Port Elizabeth, and Formato is leading the way, Greg.
Gennaro Bonafide right on his tail, and on his inside it looks like it was Graham Nathan who got a little bit bogged down at the start. Not quite sure what happened there with Nathan, but Germany came straight at him. He kept Germany behind, and it's now 2 GTIs trying to catch that leading forward. Formato's where he wants to be. This is where he's wanted to be the whole day.
Yeah, unfortunately, he hasn't had the opportunity at the best of times, and a little bit of a mistake in the last sprint race, but he's back on track. Mechanics got on there hard and fixed it. He's in the mix, and he's leading the pack.
And he's going for double points. Remember, this race counts for double points. Onto the back straight that heads up towards Bridgestone Hairpin, and already Nathan goes on the inside of Bonafide. And I think Bonafide will definitely tap out of that one.
Well, of course, I don't think he wants to be slapped on the wrist again, and certainly not by the gentle giant.
No. And of course, this is an in-house stable battle here too between the Nathan's Motorsport boys as they look to close down on Gary Formato.
Look at these
Formato, absolutely awesome this weekend, but unfortunately just bad luck in the first 2. Now he has to see if his luck can change.
All right, one of the most important technical aspects of this track is right here at Goodyear, and you need tremendous drive to have a really good bash down the straight. And this is where Graham Nathan can actually haul in Gary Formato right now. He's been quicker.
He certainly has. His Armessa just off the back end there, but you can see Formato has got his hands full. Graham Nathan, left and right on the circuit. Can he make it way through? Not just yet, but he's definitely showing in the rearview mirrors that Indy oil car, and of course a lot of work being done there by Rob Green Motorsport to give it the pace that it's got, and it certainly has got some great pace down here in PE.
Absolutely. I mean, Graham Nathan's got a lot of brass, because he's the kind of guy that can actually take you on the outside where it's not even possible.
We'll have to wait and see where he actually puts that move in. It's just a matter of time. Formato runs a little wide. Good driving from Gary, keeps it all together. Nathan has to go around his outside, has a look, gets the apex right, gets the drive out of the hairpin. Now, can he get the drive on the sweep and possibly try something onto the brakes into Goodyear? This is the kind of maneuver that you want to see from Graham Nathan. He gets good drive, but so does Formato. He's not going to be close enough just yet.
All right, so still Formato under pressure from Graham Nathan. Just behind them is Gennaro Bonafide. Then we've got the other mix of the Fords, and that could be Sean Dumity or Michael Van Rooyen. Can't really tell right at this moment, but I think it's Sean Dumity. It is Sean Dumity. All right, so, oh, look at that. Graham Nathan on the outside. He wants to have a little dice down in the first corner. He'll get on the brakes. I think he's got the muscle. And will he go on the outside? Formato's got the line.
Straight line drag race around the outside. Can he do it? He can! I can't believe it! A front wheel drive around the outside of turn 1. Formato thought he had the line, but Nathan just kept it buried into turn 1. Thanks for coming. I'm taking the lead.
Am I good or am I good?
That is amazing driving. How do you get a front-wheel drive car to go around the outside of turn 1? That's like 180 k's an hour in a GTI.
Magic wand. Just wave it, Graham. Just wave it.
Awesome stuff, but Gary Formato's not going to let him have this flying down. I tell you, he's going to come straight back at him. But all of a sudden, he has to worry about a second GTI, who's now into this little battle at the front. Germany wants to help his teammate out, but of course, Gennaro Bonafide wants to do exactly the same for his stablemate. They're in the lead.
Yeah, Formato just really is bemused by what's going on at the moment. And of course, worried about his tyre wear. That does affect the Fords in a big way.
It certainly does, but remember the fact that he's sat out for a whole race, he's going to have fresher rubber on that car, so he should be able to use the pace of the Ford to catch the GTI.
Well, in theory, yes, but this is Graham Nathan we're talking about.
Yeah, Graham Nathan doesn't need rubber on his wheels, hey? He can drive around just on the rims. No, I'm joking. He absolutely hauls around you. I don't know if Formato's going to find it. Look at this. Look at the pace of the GTI pulling away from the Ford. And watch out for Bonafide. He's coming back with a vengeance.
Thing is, of course, I mean, this kind of time that he's putting in at the moment, and Nathan, that is, compared to Formato, I mean, if that was at any other race course, that would be a second, 2 seconds more. So it just goes to show how well Graham Nathan's driving.
We've got 1 lap and 1 corner to go as they come into Goodyear. The gap has opened up between Nathan and Formato, and between Formato and Bonafide. Germany's not going to have an answer, unfortunately. He's going to have to settle for that 4th place. So things are really tight in this championship. And the battle is between the 2 GTIs. Formato is now going to fall out of that championship battle and have to do lots of work when we get to Kyle Army.
Yeah, that is a sad thing. That's going to put that team under pressure because they're now starting to fall ridiculously behind in the points table.
Onto the braking markers. There's the gap. You can see that Bonafide is not going to close that down. And in fact, I think Gennaro is probably driving a really mature race here. He doesn't want to get his nose dirty again and have to deal with the COC. He'll be happy to finish in 3rd and take 2nd place in the championship behind his stablemate, Graham Nathan.
Yeah, he's almost had a clean run in terms of podium finishes for Gennaro Bonafide, and quite realistically, he's been the find of the season.
He certainly has. They've done a great job on that car too. Late braking is not going to help here. It's basically all done and dusted on this final lap. The first 4 positions are going to be sorted out unless something dramatic happens. And that usually is what happens in Bridgestone production cars. So let's wait for the flag before we actually say 1, 2, 3 and 4 are as they are on the road now.
Absolutely, Gary Formato. Let's just finish the race, Gary. That's a good start to things to come. All right, so still the leader, Graham Nathan, just streets ahead. He's really doing the business. This is it. He gets the flag. It is the win for Graham Nathan, an increase in his points table. So confirmation as it is. Graham Nathan, Gary Formato, Gennaro Bonifati, Sean Duminy, Kurt Alchin was in the mix there as well. And in 6th position, it was Michael van Rooyen in the other Ford, and then Esser and Modek. That's how it stood. Confirmation of those results. Your drive today was just astonishing.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will take a bit of the credit for that, but you know the old story, the old adage, you can't do it if you don't have the right equipment. So unfortunately the mechanics get the glory, yeah, but thank you very much. I'll accept that.
You certainly know your car and your racing.
Oh, it's just pretty obvious for everybody to see after qualifying this morning, but you know, I think the long races are actually very boring. We need to get the cars closer, there's no doubt, and of course we need to find a bit more pace in our car in order to race properly. I think that's what everybody comes here to watch, and it's nice for the winner, there's no doubt. I know it feels, but we want to actually have a race for a change.
You had an interesting day, Gennaro Bonifati. Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, we were a little bit off pace yesterday, and in qualifying, you know, we're still trying to get, you know, learning the track and the car together. You know, we're still lots of work to do on the car with the team. But yeah, no, we had okay. We had a 3-place penalty from Cape Town, so I started on 6th and to work my way forward, and I eventually ended up 4th, which wasn't too bad. And then, which, you know, let me start 3rd for the second race. And myself and Michael van Rooyen had a great race, and then. Second last lap of the last corner, I had a bit of brain fade. I'm not going to lie, it was my mistake. I own up to it. You know, things happen. You know, people make mistakes, and we move on forward. And now, so I got penalised for that, which is fair enough. And the third race, look, we couldn't catch them. We tried the team. We tried changes even now for the third race, but we just couldn't catch them.
Celebrations on the podium, but celebrations for Nizam Esser as well.
Nizam Esser has been nominated and been given the Rookie of the Day drive here at Aldo Scribante. So congratulations. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, thank you. I feel very, very good, and I'm really, really glad I got the award. It's my first time on the track. You know, I just hang on, and you know, in this racing, you've got to find your feet very, very quickly, and that's what I tried to do, and just hang on.
How big is that void between what you're experiencing right now and what the top boys are doing? Is there such a big gap? Can you get there?
Yeah, I think with time, you know, I think this is my second real full-on in production cars. So I think maybe closer to the end of the year, the end of the season, I'll improve about quite a bit. You know, some homework needs to be done. So yeah, I think eventually we'll get there.
Car Rookie of the Day there, Nizam Esser, but championship points is what it all counts at the end of the season. Nathan ahead of Bonifati, Formato and Duminy looking to close that gap down at Kyalami.
Nothing beats a good day at the racetrack. If you want to join me, come through to Kyalami on the 5th of June, where the Westbank Super Series will be featuring some good racing action. See you there.
For more information on the Westbank Super Series, log on to their website, www.westbanksuperseries.co.za.
That's a wrap of the Bridgestone production cars. Next up is the Interfile South African Motorcycle Championship. I'm Gugu Zulu. See you next time.